Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to look at equations for line of best fit and the correlation coefficient. So we are going to be using Desmos quite a bit today. So make sure you have that ready to go. So here's our first one. We're going to make a scatter plot of the data to the right. This is the the age and weight of some pandas. So let's go ahead and write that table down for me, please, because that table will come in handy, especially if we're going to be switching screens. I'm actually going to pull mine up too so that I have it to access. So we're going to pull up Desmos. We can go ahead and use the graphing calculator. And in this case, this is kind of tricky because there's a lot to the process, but just follow along with me. We'll do it a couple of times today. So I'm going to start by making a table, and I'm going to input those values for the table. There's all my X values, and now I'm going to go ahead and do the Y values. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. But one thing I do want to do is click this little magnifying glass so that it shows me where all my points are. So from here, we need to get the correlation coefficient and also write the equation for the line of best fit. So what I'm going to do is add another item, and I'm actually going to add an expression. So this is a part that we have to remember that's a little bit tricky. So if you notice, our columns are labeled X1 and Y1. So we're going to start with Y1. So we're going to type Y and then 1. Now the next symbol we use is not very common. It's that squiggly line that's just to the left of the 1 on a keyboard. If you do not have a keyboard, then you need to, let me see if I can make this a little bit smaller. Oopsies. What did I do? Hold up. Let me get that back out here. Where did my Desmos go? There it is. So I was going to try to shrink this screen so I can show you on Desmos. I guess it's not going to allow that. In the bottom left-hand corner, there's a little keyboard that you can click on. Once you pull up that keyboard, underneath the B and the N is that little squiggly. So what I'm talking about is this little squiggly line there. And we want our equation in mx plus b format, so we're going to type mx. But because the x has a 1, we have to tell the Desmos to use a 1. And then we're going to type plus b. So what just happened here is it graphed the line of best fit and gave us all the information we need here. So right here is our correlation coefficient. And if you notice, it's 0.99. So that means pretty close to perfect, or it's a positive correlation. Here's our M and our B so that we could actually write our expression. So we can easily write that equation as, let's see if it's going to let me. Very nice. Y equals, and the M is 4.9. We'll go to the tens place in this case. X plus, oh, no. Let's see, I just put a plus and I don't need that plus. So we're going to go to minus 2.5, which is what I'm getting right there. Okay, so let's try another one. Oh, in this case, it's asking us to approximate the weight of a 7-month-old panda. So the months is the X. So if I go back to here, I would substitute a 7 for X in order to find what the potential weight could be. So let's see if I can do that here for Desmos. So I'm going to do Y equals, actually, we don't even need to do that. We could do 4.9 times 7 minus 2.5. So a 7-month-old panda would weigh 31.8, I guess it's pounds. Kind of cool. All right, let's try another one. This one here. So it says for each table, make a scatter plot of the data, describe the type of correlation. So we can actually graph this data. So I am going to create my table. I have the Mandalorian playing in the background. I hope it's not too distracting. There's my X values and then the Y values. Okay. So remember, if you hit that magnifying glass, it'll show you where your points are. So here, let's go ahead and find our line of best fit and all that just for practice, okay? So we're going to go to an expression, and I'm going to type Y1, remember? Then Shift and the squiggly, or if you need to, you could pull up the keyboard that's in this bottom left-hand corner. It's being covered by, well, let me see. Ah, here it is. So it is here. If you click ABC, of course, it's still hidden here for me. Let me see if I can move this. There we go. It's right here under the B and the N. So again, in the bottom left-hand corner, click that keyboard, go to ABC, and then it's right here. Okay, so now we're going to do MX1. Again, we have to tell the calculator, and then plus B. So here's everything we need. Our correlation coefficient is a negative 0.99, which means it's a strong negative correlation. And in this case, our equation would be with an M of negative 3.4 and a B of 204 point, I guess we would round to 204.7. So let's try another one. One more. So here we're talking about dollars spent and gallons bought. So this has to do with gasoline. So let's see if there's a positive or negative correlation here. Same process. I am going to start with a table and input those values. So we would have 10, 11, 9, 8, and 13. And then for the gallons, it would be 2.6, 3, 2.4, 2.2, and 3.5. Again, I'm going to click that magnifying glass so I can see what I have going on here. So in this case, it is another positive correlation. Let's see how strong it is by writing the equation or finding our equation here. So we start with Y1. We're going to add that little squiggly line. And we wanted an MX plus B format. So here is everything we need. Again, it's a strong positive, and we can say it's strong because of this value right here, the R. It's 0.99. It's almost perfect. So the points on that line are going to be off just a little bit, as you can see here with our line of best fit. So our equation would be Y equals, and it'd be 0.2. I would go to 2 decimal places when you don't have a whole number. And then the B is 0.0.